The following segment is sponsored by Daniel A. White and Associates. It does not necessarily reflect the views of WDEL or Forever Media.
The Rick Jensen Show on 101.7 FM, 1150 AM, WDEL. And streaming to your smart speaker and mobile device.
I've been a happy camper client of Dan White and Associates for many, many years. Market goes up, market goes down. Well, they have ways to structure your retirement income so that you're not biting your nails all the time when market goes up, market goes down. Andrew Wood is in the Middletown office. Great guy, very knowledgeable. And every Wednesday after the news at 1:30, you get a free tip from these guys. They're fantastic. Andrew, thanks for being on.
Thanks for having me, Rick.
Yeah, so what are some of the things that you're seeing now with folks you're talking to?
It's a good question. We see a lot of different things. You know, I think whether it's the news, media, what have you, we do focus a lot on the individuals in terms of like saving more because there is a retirement crisis that it's out there that, you know, people have, for the most part, not saved enough money. But I will tell you, we still run into scenarios where people are overfunded in some cases. And what I mean by overfunded is they have more money than they need. It's a problem that I think most people have, and I think, you know, you might get some eye rolls here. But, you know, what you find is that over the years when people have really focused on the saving part of it, you know, they've never felt like they were ever going to have enough. I mean, what is truly enough, right? So they saved all their lives, and, you know, next thing you know, they retire and maybe they have a pension and they're getting their Social Security, and a lot of those people, they've saved all their lives. They have a really hard time changing.
Oh, same here. I mean, you know, and my wife will complain about me being, I won't say cheap, I say frugal. And
frugal is the word.
Yeah, frugal's the word. Yeah, exactly. And I'm that way. And I'm also, as you know, I've done some things that are kind of crazy, real estate, stock market things, and taking some risk. But also, I balance it out with, like, for example, working with you guys at Dan White and Associates, and realizing it's about income, man. You know, so. It's not about, oh, boy, am I going to get 20% this year? Oh, am I going to lose 18 or 30% the next year? It's really about income. So, yeah, man, it's a matter of balance. And if you have a good year where you can fund like crazy, you do. My family always max out, because my dad didn't. And now the rest of us said, wow, max out. And you're finding people who are not only maxing out, but maybe they've maxed out, but you don't mean overfunded as in they exceeded the limits put in by the IRS. You mean, hey, we've got a little extra money here. Is that what you're talking about?
You got it. So,
cool.
Yeah, that's a really good point. So,
yeah.
You know, I consider, you know, what would be an underfunded plan, meaning you don't really have enough saved and you need to continue to save. Overfunded would mean, you know what, you have enough money, you have enough income, and believe it or not, I mean, both present challenges, right? So, whether it's taxes, you know, estate planning, you know, things like that, you know, there's still some challenges that you need to overcome. So, you know, obviously it's difficult for people to change their habits. But, you know, I always ask this question, you know, especially for those people that have really been on the fence about traveling and they haven't quite done it. So, you know, travel is obviously a big thing that a lot of retirees like to do. But,
yeah.
You know, even if it isn't for yourselves and you want to leave a legacy behind, you know, wouldn't you rather do that traveling maybe with your kids and with your grandkids and, you know, take those types of trips so you can remember them while you're still here versus, you know, having your beneficiaries, you know, do those types of things when you're gone. So, you know, that's obviously one thing. I see a lot of people that, you know, they give to charity. And that's also been part of, you know, their whole lives if you know, they're going to church and, you know, they're doing that type of thing. Now, if you have oversaved, then, you know, you can continue to give to charity, but also just keep in mind there can be some tax advantages, especially if you are of RMD age, which for now is going to be 73 for anyone that's a little younger. But, you know, don't overlook the QCDs if you are giving to charity. Those are qualified charitable distributions. That could be a way to get a little bit of a tax break there. And then, I hear people talk about, sometimes the kids are already asking them, what are we going to get? And they get, should we be expecting something? Or if they do know that, mom and dad have money, they kind of urge them to start spending it. So, you could also look at gifting, taking those types of vacations and traveling together. I look at that as really an early inheritance where you can actually see, your children and your grandchildren enjoy, your hard-earned savings.
Yeah.
While you're still here versus when you're gone.
And the other thing, too, Andrew, is if you are blessed enough to have made those good decisions over the years, or you haven't been in a struggle like so many millions are right now, and you'll be able to deal with that. Also, think about the grandkids in college. And I know you guys at Dan White & Associates know how to structure that in such a way to take the best tax advantage out of that for the grandkids for college and other stuff like that, don't you?
Absolutely. And that actually leads us kind of to Sunday's topic. Dan is going to talk really about some Roth conversions and really what is going to be, how do you get the most bang for your buck when it comes to Roth conversion strategies? So, especially for those individuals that, they're either hesitant or they don't really need to touch those retirement funds. Well, there could be ways to whether pay down some of the taxes now while your income is lower and save your family. If you are looking to leave that legacy, save your family from a tax burden by potentially doing some of those Roth conversions. So he's going to talk about that on Sunday morning with his topic.
So if you want to talk to Andrew, give him a call, 888-690-8820, 888-690-8820. Doesn't cost you anything to sit down and go through some ideas because right now we're living in very challenging times, and I don't think they're going to get a lot easier over the next few years. And thank God that you guys have all this experience from which you can draw, and you have a good team to work with. Andrew Wood, Dan White & Associates. Thanks so much, man. I always appreciate the tips.
Thanks for having me.
All right, take care, buddy.